happen to know what the capital of China is?
Oh crap. Is it Hong Kong?
Beijing.
I don't think I do.
Any guesses?
No. Don't ask.
Somewhere like in Tokyo, maybe?
Tokyo?
I think I'm just panicking.
Beijing.
Shanghai or Beijing?
Beijing?
Beijing.
Currency of China is?
No.
No, I don't.
Does it start like with a C?
Tough
Yeah.
one.
Oh my god, I feel like I know it.
It's not yen, right?
Is it yen? No,
Yuan. Is it?
Yuan.
It's yuan in
Oh.
Russian.
Yuan?
Good pronunciation. Know what the population of China is?
Oh God.
Not off the top of my head, no.
Can you give me like options?
4 billion maybe? I don't know.
I know it's pretty huge.
Well, it's the most populated country, right?
Say 100 million.
I don't know, 1 billion?
It's 2 billion. More than 2 billion, right?
2 or 3. I'm giving or answers. Probably 3.
So if you have 6 kids, the sixth one will be Chinese.
Bigger or smaller than the U.S.? Let's start with that.
Oh, I should know this.
100 millions.
A lot. It's like more than the U.S., I think, right?
6 million? Okay.
I want to say more than that. I was thinking more than a trillion.
More than a trillion. So 6 million and 1 trillion. Okay. So you say the billion, you say the trillion?
Yeah.
Okay. Billion?
It's trillion, I swear.
Alright guys，所以我们在美国首都华盛顿去做了一个接彩，然后其实这个结果让我有点吃惊，但是回想到我自己刚到中国的时候，对中国一无所知，我觉得这也挺正常的，因为我们历史课啊，我们所有的课堂里边的讨论从来不会涉及到中国，所以呢，我们这个视频也不是想让人看着很傻什么的，我觉得挺正常的。
This is what we know about China in the United States. We know there's a great big wall. We don't know the history of the wall. We don't know why the wall is there. We don't know who built the wall. And we don't know where the wall is. But we know that there's a great big wall. Every night on the news, we hear about the GDP, the growing, booming economy in China. We hear about trade negotiations that most of us don't understand. And of course, we know there's a lot of manufacturing in China because of our phones and cameras and all the things that we like to play with, all our electronics. Most of them come from China. Of course, we know Yao Ming, he's tall. Jeremy Lin is small. We know about Bruce Lee, and Kung Fu, and Jackie Chan, and new modern Kung Fu. Of course, we have Chinatown in New York, and San Francisco, Washington, D.C. has a Chinatown. And so a lot of times on Saturday or Sunday, maybe a couple of friends will get together and say, hey, let's go check out Chinatown. And so you get on the bus and you go to Chinatown and you get out and you're like, wow, this is like being in China. And we'd walk around and we'd find a place to have dim sum. And of course, it's a huge restaurant with big tables. And we're going, oh, why are the tables so big? You know, we don't understand anything about what's happening, but we would go and eat. So we learned a little bit about China from walking through Chinatown. The last thing, of course, we know is Chinese takeout. In every household in the United States, at some point during the month, there's no food, people are tired, they don't want to cook, and somebody will say, let's get Chinese takeout. And everyone else goes, yeah, perfect. So you take out a menu and you circle all the items and you order chicken and cashew nuts and General Chow's chicken and egg drop soup and fortune cookies that are not even Chinese. And you think, wow, we had this great Chinese meal. And you come home and out of the white boxes and chopsticks, we don't know how to use them. And then, of course, more recently, what we've heard about China is...
Let's say China. 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 China.
Is he still talking? And whatever he says, we also don't understand. We don't know anything about the average people in China. We don't know about daily life in China, just how people live and what's going on. We don't have a lot of information, and you'll probably say, well, John, there's so many Chinese people in the United States. Why don't they tell you, or why don't you know? And it's because there's no intermingling. Did I just say intermingling? There's no intermingling. We don't connect because most of the Chinese people here, they stay in Chinatown, the older people. The young people, the students who are studying here in the United States from China, they stay with other Chinese students. Why? Because it's familiar And that's normal for any human being. It's much easier for us to stay around people who are like us. When I lived in Beijing in 2013, all of my friends in Beijing were foreigners. Why? I don't know. It was easy. It was familiar. And we ate the same food. We spoke the same way. We acted the same way. We did the same thing. So we all stayed together as foreigners. And that's what happens. It's just a natural thing that humans do. But because of that, here in the United States, we don't get any more information about China, even though there are millions of Chinese people living here. We are, how do I explain this? In the United States, we grow up from the time we're children, hearing how great we are, how great I am as a person, how great our country is, how great our culture is. We are Lao Da. We are just the best. We are everything everybody wants to be. And because of that, it makes us walk around like, well, yeah, I am Lao Da. And that means that everyone should want to be me. I don't want to be anybody else. So why do I care about you? Don't you want to be me? So you add to it the fact that English is the international language. So everywhere I go, I expect everyone to speak English because it's an international language. So that makes us lazy to learn other languages, and it makes us lazy to learn about other cultures. Also, life here for most people is comfortable. The infrastructure in the United States is strong. People have homes that are comfortable. We have, air conditioning and heating, and we like to be comfortable and warm, and we just like everything to be soft and feel good. We don't want to go to countries if things aren't like that, because why? Why do people want to go somewhere where they may have to struggle, or where maybe they can't get their favorite food or their favorite item of anything, favorite clothing? They want to be in a place where everything is easy and it's just the way they like it. So then you guys probably think, Americans are foolish and stupid and dumb, and it's not that. It's not that. What happens is we're just comfortable. Being comfortable makes you lazy, and we don't care. And it's not a criticism of my culture. It's what happens when you grow up the way we grow up. It makes us who we are, and it's very hard to change. I was lucky. I took a risk 20 years ago, and I left this place, and I went to Mexico, and I just started traveling around the world, and that's what I've been doing for 20 years. But I took a risk that most people here don't want to take. Life is secure, it's comfortable, it's stable, and nobody wants to change that. Nobody wants to rock the boat, we say. Keep it the way it is because it's very comfortable. Unfortunately, the lack of information and the lack of interest in trying to make things better, it creates confusion in people. And then confusion develops into fear. And then when things get worse, fear turns into racism, and racism turns into xenophobia. And I know now because of the virus, obviously you've been reading too, that there's been more and more trouble with people because of the virus, and Chinese people have been attacked, and people have been saying very bad things. And it's horrible, and it hurts my heart. And I mean, I can only apologize to you. I can't change it, but and that's what happens from people not having enough information and not knowing enough. And it's a big problem. And it's something that we have to try to fix.
Yeah, I really had a lot of misconceptions about China before I came here. And that's probably due to my, ignorance, to be honest. I'm only 21. And at that time, I'd not really traveled anywhere. I'd had a couple of holidays, but that doesn't really count. But travel really is an education. Living somewhere else is an education. And one massive misconception I had before I came here was just about how Chinese people are. I'm very into sort of behavior and psychology and culture and how people behave, right? So when I came here, I was just a mouthpiece of Western propaganda. I really didn't think that Chinese people were enjoying their lives, because I thought that they were under the oppression of the government, right? Yeah. So when I first came here, I didn't think I would ever be able to find that many friends, or I didn't think that many people would speak English. I just thought I would have a tough time. And for the first like 6 months or so, I guess the adjustment, I did find it hard, but after that, man, it's like I've got friends here, I've made great relationships with people, I've had a girlfriend here, and I just didn't expect any of that.
And you know, we're right besides America. So we just received their news, and everything they say about China is what we consume. So I had a really bad misconception when it came to China. I'm pretty sure that when you first got here, you realize how warm people can be with foreigners.
Oh yeah, for sure. They're so hospitable.
Yeah, so that was one of the first things. And then just like all the difference, the cultural difference between Mexico and China was impressive to me. But then I fell in love with the language. You're studying Chinese, I saw that.
Yeah.
Right?
And you're pretty good at Chinese now. And how do you think your perspective on China has differed since you started to learn Chinese?
Oh, that's the most important part, man. That's what I'm telling you. Keep doing Chinese, because once you start speaking a little bit at least, you open a whole different world.
Okay.
Like, start communicating with people. You see that I like to interview people for my videos.
Yeah.
Because that's what China is all about. Like, forget about the places, the cities, the technology. It's just the people that make the place.
Yeah.
And they have a completely different mindset. Of course, that was when I was 19. So a lot of people just repeat what they say, what they hear in the TV or from other people, right?
Yeah.
So when you come here, you find out that it's a very different culture, you know. When, let's say, the noodles, do you know why you have to do this with the noodles?
No.
It's because they're super hot, and that's the most
right. And that's actually not seen as impolite at all here. And I've found myself doing it now as well.
Yeah, I do it all the time.
You're here, you do as the Romans do, right?
Yeah, like with the baozi, you put it in your mouth and it's so hot. I mean, if you don't do it, you must be stupid, because then you're gonna burn your tongue. So I just go like...
It's completely changed my life since I moved here, and I'm very grateful that I've been able to have the opportunity to live in China. So
just think of it like that. This is where we met. Like all the amazing opportunities that we had here, right?
I know, exactly. Right here. Right, there's a lot to be grateful for.